Hi, this is Azza Chamberlain and you're watching True School Sports.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, in this video right here, we're just going to talk about Anthony Joshua here for a second because there's quite a lot to dissect from the Anthony Joshua fight, and we're going to be dissecting a lot here on True School Sports, giving you guys just reaction following the fight and approaching it from different angles. Now, this video is pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. As you can see by the title, Anthony Joshua, he is back in the driver's seat of boxing. Now, for those of you who have really followed my channel over the last couple of years, you may remember when Anthony Joshua beat Vladimir Klitschko. Right the day or after that fight, I made a video titled "Anthony Joshua is in the driver's seat of boxing," meaning that with that win against Klitschko, it put him in a position to dictate what goes on in the division, negotiate from a place of strength, a position of strength, and as far as negotiating his future fights. And I believe that's what's happened again. He's back in the driver's seat of boxing. He's back in the driver's seat of the heavyweight division. And I gotta say, man, I was really impressed with his performance against Andy Ruiz Jr. because he did a lot of things in that fight that I didn't think he had in this. He showed a lot of things in that fight that I didn't think he had. But credit to him, fair play to him. He went back in the gym. He refined his skills. He seemed to have, in some ways, refined his style seemingly in one training camp. So all you can do is just give this guy all the credit in the world. Give him all the respect, all the praise, because he deserves it. There was a lot of pressure for him to win that fight. They say pressure makes diamonds, and Anthony Joshua was a star that shined the brightest on the night against Andy Ruiz Jr. So he's back in the driver's seat of boxing, and there's all kinds of things that can happen with his career. I mean, now he's, and you know what, I gotta humble myself again, because Eddie Hearn took a lot of criticism for having this fight in Saudi Arabia, because it was unconventional, it was different, it was out of the box. But you know what? That's what the job of a promoter is. The job of a promoter is to get your fighter the most money possible and look out for the best interest of the fighter. So Eddie Hearn did what he thought was right for the fighter at the time, and he put the fight in Saudi Arabia. Anthony Joshua made upwards of $85 million or $88 million, and now he's actually broadened the profile of Anthony Joshua, along with now opening up the door for him to come back to Saudi Arabia. And listen, if you guys don't know anything about Middle East, Saudi Arabia, they got that oil well money. They're extremely rich over there. So he'll have potentially more opportunities for big fights to happen. Because they literally built a stadium just for Anthony Joshua. So I would anticipate that Anthony Joshua goes back to Saudi Arabia at some point. Not for his next fight, but I would say sometime in the next year and a half he's going to go back there and fight. But he's in the driver's seat of boxing. This is a guy that has conquered British boxing. Now he's boxing in the Middle East. He didn't win his American debut, but he sold a lot of tickets in his American debut. So Anthony Joshua, when we talk about the money guy in the division, when we talk about who has the right and the influence to dictate terms and negotiate from places of strength, it is Anthony Joshua. When we talk about the most money, we talk about Anthony Joshua. When we talk about the tickets sold record at Wembley Stadium, we talk about Anthony Joshua. When we talk about having boxing in Saudi Arabia at the highest of levels, we're talking about Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua pushing the envelope, breaking barriers, and I feel like, and this is my opinion, all right, him being back in the driver's seat of the heavyweight division, as far as him being able to dictate, him getting the belts, him getting the belts back and winning and redeeming himself for the debacle that was June the 1st, his American debut, which should have been one of the biggest debuts the country's ever seen in quite some time, and it was, but it was for all the wrong reasons. Now you have Anthony Joshua showing that he's tough, that he's not, because a lot of I'm speaking for the Americans. A lot of us in America, a lot of boxing fans in America, they think Anthony Joshua is soft. They think he's soft, but he proved in this fight that he wasn't soft. That he is mentally tough. That he has boxing skills. That he does know what the sweet science of boxing is, and he can execute it at the highest levels in the division. And you know what? I would even go as far as to say that Anthony Joshua he's not the finished article yet. He's still growing. He's still maturing. The ceiling. I don't think he's quite reached the ceiling yet as a fighter, and I think we're not gonna see that for about another 3 or 4 fights. So just fair play to him, but it's the worst nightmare for this division. I'll be honest with you. It's probably the worst nightmare in the world that this guy got the belts back, because now that he has the belts back, it's gonna go back to how it was before. Now he can dictate how he wants things to be, and if you don't agree to those terms, then you're just not gonna fight him. So and the guy that seems to be most affected by this more than anybody is Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Deontay Wilder came out after the fight. Before the fight, he was talking about how Andy Ruiz is going to beat Joshua. There was articles that came out saying that Andy Ruiz and Wilder talk on the phone, and they had this big elaborate plan with PBC to take over the division and all this stuff. All Andy had to do was win, and he failed to win. He failed to get the job done. So Al Heyman's plan to get the division in a Cobra clutch is blowing up in smoke and blowing up in flames, and Anthony Joshua now has a big he's back to how it was before. So Deontay Wilder, he went from being Andy Ruiz's friend and his buddy to now he's slamming him and throwing him under the bus. He's throwing Joshua under the bus. I guarantee you he's pulling his hair out because Anthony Joshua is champion again. Because now, if Wilder really wants that one face, one name, one champion, he's gonna actually have to go through Anthony Joshua to do it. And the fact that that's the case again makes this division so interesting. And that's if and only if he can get past the Gypsy King Tyson Fury again. Because listen, that's not no gimme. I mean, personally, I don't think he's beating Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the world. But if he is, if he knocks out Tyson Fury, which is also very possible because he showed the ability to hurt him multiple times in the first fight, if he's able to do that, then listen, nobody will respect Deontay Wilder the way he wants to be respected universally around the world, amongst all the boxing fans. Nobody will give him the due that his fans and his fanboys believe he's owed until he actually beats Anthony Joshua and becomes undisputed heavyweight champion. So, yeah, so if he wants that respect, if he wants that universal acclaim, he's got to actually follow his own philosophies and become one face, one name, one champion. He's got to go in there. He's got to beat Tyson Fury, which will be a hard, tough, tall task. Then, if he's able to do that, then he has to make the fight that everybody always wanted to see in the first place, which was him versus Anthony Joshua, one of the biggest fights, if not the biggest fight in world boxing. So Anthony Joshua has made the division a lot more interesting again. A lot of us thought that he might be retired after this fight if he lost, because a lot of us looked at this as a cash out fight, but he proved that there's still plenty of fire left in the tank, and it's burning hotter than ever. So, how good can Anthony Joshua be? I'm not so sure, but I'm looking very forward to finding out. He seems to be maturing right before our very eyes, and a lot of you guys might want to discredit him for his performance and say that Ruiz was fat and he ran around the ring. But if you're saying that Anthony Joshua ran around the ring, then you're not really a fan of boxing. You're not a fan of the sweet science of boxing, because that was an absolutely exceptional performance, and he turned in that kind of performance when it mattered the most in his career, which says a lot about his character. So he's back in the driver's seat of boxing. He's back, as that money guy in the division with the belts. The cash cow of the division, the cash cow. He's the cash cow of boxing, because Canelo Alvarez wasn't getting no oil money like Anthony Joshua, so he's the cash cow of boxing. He's the cash cow of the division. He's in the driver's seat of boxing, and Deontay Wilder is pulling his hair out as we speak, as Anthony Joshua is once again the unified heavyweight champion of the world. So you guys let me know what you think about Anthony Joshua being back in the driver's seat of boxing. What does this mean for the division? What does this mean for Deontay Wilder? Will Deontay Wilder retire if he beats Tyson Fury because he doesn't want to fight Anthony Joshua? Let me know in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, like I say in every single one of these videos. You can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take your eyes.
Boom, it's your boy Big Baby Miller straight out of Brooklyn. You're watching True School Sports. Tune in, sucker.